Bill, one of the common sense success practices or things that you did once was you bought an expensive car in one of your companies. Tell me why you did this, and and what purpose it served in your company.
Well, out of one of our brainstorming sessions, we came up with the idea that we needed to buy something special to entertain our clients and visitors. And so one of the things we decided was we would buy a Rolls Royce. Now, I had no idea what a Rolls Royce cost, nor had I ever ridden in a Rolls Royce. And we were in a town of 70,000 people, and there were no Rolls Royces. So I went to Cincinnati, Ohio, bought a Rolls Royce for $109,000, brought it back to my company. I became an instant attention getter in my town. I want you to know that when we drove the Rolls Royce, everybody looked, and they were curious about what happened. In fact, this Rolls Royce was so impactful that our first client that we picked up at an airport in Indianapolis to escort, or actually to have a chauffeur drive them to our company, they increased our business by $1 million. So it more than paid for the Rolls Royce. But the Rolls Royce was fun. You know, I let my daughter drive it to school one day. Can you imagine a teenage girl driving a Rolls Royce to school? Another situation, we put our kids in the back and we drove through McDonald's and ordered from the window, and everybody's looking to see who's in the Rolls Royce. We were on our way to Detroit one time to make a sales call, and my salesman was great at this. He would fill the car up with gas, and sometimes he'd ask me to sit in the back, and when he'd go in to pay, he'd say, "Do you know who that is in the back of the car out there?" And everybody would wonder, who is that? He'd say, that person's really important. You know, when we went to a sporting event, there was never such a thing as the lot's too full. They always let a Rolls Royce in. So I want to make sure you know that this Rolls Royce paid great dividends, and it didn't seem like a common sense thing to do to a lot of people, but it was certainly a rewarding and common sense thing to do to build our business.
And now your whole company was involved really in making the decision to buy it, so it wasn't just the boss was getting an expensive car. No,
in fact, it was my least favorite car, because first it was everybody just watched you. I don't want to be watched when I'm out driving, and it was just not a car that you could go out and have a good time in without people just constantly looking at you. So it was a business decision. In fact, when I sold my company, the first thing I did was sell that car.
Now, if this, practice, thinking of some companies today, what's something that a company you know of today might do that would be a comparable investment to help them that might seem risky or flamboyant but beneficial?
Well, buying an airplane or sharing in ownership of an airplane. I was impressed when one of my clients flew from Minneapolis, Minnesota to pick me up and take me on their private jet to do one of my seminars. I was very impressed. So that's something that would impress people. Taking people to obviously the most expensive place in town to have dinner. That is something that also, it still impresses me when someone does that. So, or a private club where you have to have, it's only a select few people can get in to have membership. All those things are very important.
Well, playing the devil's advocate, I'm kind of a simple, live in the dirt kind of guy.
Sure.
Playing the devil's advocate, it might seem a little pretentious to do that, but you're not a pretentious guy. So what's the benefit of this? Do you run the risk of being pretentious, or is this about respect?
People would tell me that. I've had salesmen say, well, I wouldn't drive a Cadillac, or I wouldn't drive a Rolls Royce, or I wouldn't drive a Lexus, because people would think that I was showing off. Well, listen, I don't want to buy anything from a salesman that can't afford a Lexus or a Rolls Royce or a Cadillac, because that tells me you're not very successful. So the way I look at it is this: if you can own, at that time, a $109,000 car, you got to be pretty successful. That car probably would sell now today for $180,000, $200,000, and I would do it all over again if I was going to build a company up and I wanted to impress people. I don't think it's pretentious at all. I think it's great business.
Great.